NVIDIA and AMD just announced brand new graphics cards, and you can get one of them as early as January 17th. But I gotta tell you guys, I almost died during this presentation. Take a shot for every AI mentioned, bro. I'm gonna be wasted.
AI, our AI, generative AI, 836 AI top, AI ready, and AI Gen AI powered
Yeah,
to gamers.
that wouldn't have been a good idea. If it wasn't from the drinking, it could have been from the cringe.
Let's listen in as these two AI game characters have a generated conversation.
Nova, you ever get that uncanny feeling we're like those AI constructs from the old sci-fi flicks? But nah, we're too quirky.
What?
We're too quirky for...
It is 1.4x faster than the RTX 3080 Ti without frame gen.
He said Ti.
Ti, making the 4080 Super twice as fast as a 3080 Ti.
In the same sentence, I don't...
Ti.
He has to be trolling at this point. There's no way. Somehow, there is actually some GPUs hidden away in here. And some of them are surprisingly goated. First time in a long time that NVIDIA has launched a product that anyone out there seems to like. AMD, on the other hand, I don't really think they cared about their product. That was only 20 seconds. We're gonna talk about that one later. NVIDIA is launching 3 new graphics cards. Their RTX 4080 Super is releasing on January 31st and is going to be $1,000. The 4070 Ti
Super
is on January 24th at $800, and the 4070 Super is launching on January 17th, like a little over a week, at $600. So this is very soon. This is what they always should have been, because these cards are competitive with their price, their performance, and their specs. It is, though, disappointing that we're only now just getting these cards that are competitive, but like at least we're getting these super cards. So let's break down these cards. Let's find the good deals based on their performance. Like we actually have performance numbers from NVIDIA and AMD about these cards. We can also look at how the GPU market is most likely going to change very dramatically because of these releases. Starting off at the top of the stack, the RTX 4080 Super. Now, when we were streaming the live breakdown of this whole event, you guys in chat were pretty mixed about this card, although it did come out to be a little bit positive. And that's probably because the performance of the 4080 Super is basically the exact same. You can see the CUDA core count here. They're like within 500 CUDA cores of each other. It has the same amount of VRAM, a little bit higher clock speeds, not that significant though. This is a freaking geometry puzzle to try to figure this out. I went to my screen, and I took a ruler. I had to figure out all the increments on these because NVIDIA does not provide little dash marks on their graphs. So you just kind of guess. So NVIDIA had the 4080 Super comparing to the 3080 Ti. The 4080 Super was about 42% faster. Obviously, these are biased numbers. This is probably showing the 4080 Super in the best light compared to 3080 Ti. I know these are rough numbers on Tech Power up here with their performance chart. It's just ballpark. Compared to the 3080 Ti, the 4080 Super would line up just a little bit ahead of the 4080, and based on the specs that we saw earlier, that probably makes sense. Because the only main perk about the 4080 Super is the price. NVIDIA said this themselves.
Giving it a performance edge at a great new price of $999.
It is $200 cheaper than the original RTX 4080. Because of the specs and the price of this 4080 Super, NVIDIA is going to be axing the original 4080.
The 4080 is going away. They're going to stop making it, being replaced entirely with the 4080 Super.
You know what card also costs $1,000? That is AMD's flagship graphics card, the 7900 XTX. You can see right now in the market, this is going for around about $970 at the moment. The original 4080 and the 7900 XTX perform very similar in rasterization performance. The 4080 Super is going to have better ray tracing performance. It's going to have DLSS. It's going to have better power efficiency. This card is going to have to drop a lot in price to be competitive. I honestly think less than $850 to be a really good deal. And it seems like that's something that might happen, even though like you might argue that, oh, the 4080 Super, it's not that exciting. It's still really expensive. I wish it was cheaper. I wish it was cheaper too. At least though, because there's competition at the high end, any cards that are close to those in relation, there's going to be a cascading effect of all the prices having to come down to match that card. Speaking of the cascade, let's talk about the RTX 4070 Ti Super. I can't say that with a straight face. The 4070 Ti Super is the card that the original 4070 Ti, the castrated version of the card, always wished that it could be. You all seem to agree with this fact.
It is the best. That's what people are saying.
This 4070 Ti out of the super cards is the GOAT. Why though? NVIDIA did cripple the original 4070 Ti. We've been over this a lot, but this card cost $800 and had 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which in the grand scheme of things isn't going to last that much longer for how fast this card is. It needs more VRAM for maxing out 1440p gaming and stuff like that. $800 was a huge ask. 16 gigabytes on that card is going to make it future-proofed for VRAM, and it's coming at the same price of $800, along with a nice bonus of a little extra performance by the means of extra CUDA cores with the 4070 Ti Super, and you've got yourself a really nice card. Super official, super accurate calculations here. The 4070 Ti Super is about 59% faster than the 3070 Ti. So we look on Tech PowerUp's performance chart here. That would mean this 4070 Ti Super almost as fast as a 4080, the original one. Yeah, we're seeing it like a 20% gap between these cards. Probably shouldn't surprise you that the same price, better card in almost every way, the 4070 Ti Super, that NVIDIA is axing the original 4070 Ti.
NVIDIA is also discontinuing the 4070 Ti.
And honestly, I think most people would agree that was for the best. We might see some decent price cuts to get the stock out of here, or the price might stay the same and they just slowly let the stock dry out. I'm not sure, but I would definitely probably keep your eye on it to see if there are some deals on 4070 Ti's. Like just the fact that NVIDIA is replacing 2 of the original RTX 4000 series graphics cards, I mean, just kind of lays credence to kind of how bad the original 4000 series was. These super cards is how 4000 series always should have been. NVIDIA is able to get their cake and eat it too. We can't get too mad though. That's what sucks about this. Like, are we being ungrateful that like we don't have good value cards now? These seem competitive. They're going to shake up the market. So for the 4070 Ti Super, AMD's direct competitor, the 7900 XT, right now is costing $760 because the new 4070 Ti Super has a performance bump. And now the 4070 Ti Super has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, better ray tracing. It's gonna have DLSS support, better power efficiency. Would justify it to cost $800, and probably people would buy it happily over the 7900 XT. Well, the 7900 XT is gonna have to come down a lot in price. And when we were talking in chat, we were kind of agreeing that somewhere around $650 is where the 7900 XT would have to come to. You could pay a premium for the AMD card. They might go to $650. That's what people are saying in chat. I think I would generally agree to do that. That's probably the price it needs to be competitive. That is an extreme price drop because if you remember, the 7900 XT started at $900 back last year when it launched. And now if it gives us $650, that is like almost a third of its original price cut. You guys took the wind out of me when we talked about the 4070 Super.
Oh, opinions are kind of mixed on this one.
I was initially thinking that a GPU that could be up to 20% faster than the original 4070, while coming in at its original price of $600, that a card like this with its value would be good. The 4070 Super is good enough that it's forcing NVIDIA to officially cut the price of the OG 4070 to $550 to make room for this card. Our favorite benchmarks is straight from NVIDIA, all that good stuff. Using my intense calculations and my expertise of using a ruler to measure graphs that should already be labeled, we can see that the numbers can vary quite a bit because NVIDIA is comparing this to their RTX 3070. The 4070 Super is about 56% faster than the original 3070. But if we look on Tech PowerUp, these numbers get a little bit wild, or almost as fast as a 4070 Ti. And according to specs, there's no way that a 4070 Super is going to be faster than a 4070 Ti. So these numbers definitely aren't right. Some of the reasons why these numbers are so off is actually because of VRAM limitations. The 3070 only has 8 gigabytes, and they chose some games that are very heavy on VRAM, like Last of Us Part 1 and Resident Evil Remake. The performance that's on table here isn't that exciting. We didn't actually get any more VRAM. It's still 12 gigabytes, especially for this card that is aimed at like 1440p max settings gaming, it could definitely be argued that 12 gigabytes at $600 is even a bad deal. This should have had 16 gigabytes at this price point. There's also an argument that this is where the 4070 itself should have always been in terms of performance, and now it's costing $600 and it's just the card that it always was. So I can see these different sides of it. I can see these perspectives. I am also excited to see what the heck is going to happen with the 4070 Super. And this poor 7900 XT is going to be getting ripped from both ends by the 4070 Super and the 4070 Ti Super. It's probably going to be within about 15% of the rasterization performance of the 7900 XT, while this card is only going to be costing $600. Plus, you'll be on NVIDIA with probably better ray tracing performance, DLSS support, better power efficiency. The only downside would be that 12 gigabytes of VRAM. AMD 7900 XT is going to need to come down in price to be competitive with these cards. The thing I'm actually worried about, the 4070 Super, there's only a $200 gap between this card and the 4070 Ti Super from NVIDIA. Also, the 4070 Super is only $50 more than the original 4070. Currently very competitive in the market is that this 4070 Super over time might climb in price. Like, it might go up. I know a graphics card appreciating. The only time we've really seen that recently was the 4090. Let's just hope this doesn't happen. Let's all take a moment and let's pray to our Lord and Savior, the Ti gods. You know, where are they? The Ti gods.
Ti.
That is generally it for NVIDIA's super graphics cards, and they're surprisingly exciting. Even though it's $800 whole dollars, is the 4070 Ti Super with its, Sandy Cell She Shells kind of name. Is this the most goated GPU in the lineup? Do you agree with chat? The most disappointing about the Super launch is actually that we did not get an RTX 4060 Super, because that lower end market is downright feeling neglected. Like, I guess we could leave our fingers crossed. It's still possible that NVIDIA could release a card for the 4060 Super. At NVIDIA's event at CES, they actually announced 3 other things you need to know. Literally all of these. The first thing is, have you ever watched a Twitch stream and it literally looked like hot dog water? Like, there's text on the screen and you can't even read it. It's like, what is happening? It just looks so bad. NVIDIA announced at CES today that they're working together to bring AV1 to Twitch. This will make streams look a lot better. So right now, currently, if you want to look at Twitch's page, I'm going to leave a link in the description. This is currently in beta. We might be seeing higher quality streams on Twitch really soon. The second thing, Half-Life 2 looks absolutely amazing. And I'm not talking about the original game. The original game looks fine. NVIDIA is releasing their RTX Remix program, and it's in beta to the public. So this means that the community can make things like this, like Half-Life 2 Remix. They can upgrade old textures and assets and lighting to reimagine these older games, to modernize them. And I never thought in 2024 that I'd be playing Half-Life 2 or Portal. I'd be at 30 FPS, but I guess here we are. Like, all jokes though, like, these remixes look absolutely insane. The third thing, it's terrible, at least right now. NVIDIA has been partnering with a ton of different teams out there to produce literal AI characters in game, like the ones you can actually talk to and they actually respond with unique answers every single time.
Hi, long time no see. You've been hiding in the shadows, or have you just been trying to avoid me?
Hey Nova, it's good to see you. I haven't been trying to avoid you, just been super busy. How are things?
Things are fantastic. Just secured a juicy contract with Zenith and Sons.
We all know, like, we suffered through this cringe.
You ever get that uncanny feeling we're like those AI constructs from the old sci-fi flicks? But nah, we're too quirky for that.
The cool thing is, the conversation's different every time.
We get there. This is one step closer to getting a real anime waifus in our games. Chat said that. Like, I didn't say that. That was definitely chat. Like, I wouldn't. But like, seriously though, like, it has a ton of potential.
You got it, Kai. Nova's success calls for the top shelf celebration. Just don't expect this to become a habit.
Thanks, Jen.
I think it's there. It's in very early stages right now, and it looks really bad. We got to keep our eyes on this. We got to track this as it progresses. That's all for NVIDIA at CES. We got to check out what AMD has been cooking with their new GPU. Did you miss it? Like, I'll rewind it. Shoot, it's already over. Okay, wait. I'll just play the clip in like quarter speed. Maybe you'll be able to catch it.
Announcing the Radeon RX 7600 XT with 16 gigabytes of memory is future ready for years to come. It will be on shelf later this month in January.
AMD announced their 16 gigabyte 7600 XT graphics card, and that's literally all they said about it, because AMD was all about AI.
As we step into the era of AI.
We love AI. Like, if I took a shot for every time NVIDIA said AI in their presentation, I would be dead. If an elephant did that for AMD's presentation, the elephant would have died. It's insane.
Growing AI, Ryzen AI, next-gen AI, Ryzen AI, integrating AI
for AI builder, AI application.
Advancing AI, Ryzen AI, generative AI, entire AI, Ryzen AI.
Advancing AI.
Enhanced AI on the PC.
AI performance for Windows AI.
We're at the very beginning of the AI era.
It is so much alcohol. It also didn't help at this event that bro looked like he was AI. Like, they even gave this guy a shadow to blend in with the other humans. 7600 XT graphics card presentation was genuinely less than 20 seconds of their show. And then it goes to AI. So, okay, wait, that was only 20 seconds. It seemed like AMD wanted us to overlook it just as much as they overlooked their graphics card. Like, they didn't even mention what day it launches.
It will be on shelf later this month in January.
It's releasing on January 24th, by the way. This is NVIDIA's investor relation page. They didn't even post the release date of their graphics card on the main site. What did this card do to them? I think Tim from Hardware Unboxed summed up this graphics card pretty well.
It's a Radeon RX 7600 with 16 gigabytes of memory, so double the VRAM, that also received a small overclock.
Which is definitely nice, but $330, like it seems like too much of an upcharge to be worth it, especially when their last generation 6700 XT, which has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, is still around that same price range, and it might be faster than this new card. Now, like a classic idiot that I am, I forgot to poll the chat on how they felt about the 7600 XT. If you want to let me know in the comments what you think about this card, very much appreciate that AMD is providing 16 gigabytes of VRAM, best price to VRAM ratio we can currently get. And I'm looking at you, 4060 Ti. You cost $300 damn for 8 gigabytes. What the hell? Other than that though, like, the 7600 XT, it just seems like a nothing burger at this price point. This is like why we need more competition at this, lower end price point for GPUs, because nothing's happening right now. However, AMD does want to be making the claim right now the lower end GPU market doesn't need to exist at all, because they announced some new APUs. Is basically just normal CPUs for your PC, but they have a little bit beefed up integrated graphics on them. And that means that sometimes they can be decently powerful. At low settings, it's able to achieve 60 plus FPS in a lot of games, but I don't know if they're using upscaling and stuff. I will say, like, this is pretty cool. The fact that you could possibly be playing, Cyberpunk at 60 FPS without a graphics card in your system, like that's actually pretty cool. Maybe at one point in time, like, I'll be able to get my hands on this and test these, like, put this to their paces. AMD also mentioned at their event that they have been working on their video encoders for their graphics cards. And in the latest GPU driver that's going to be releasing soon, they're going to be much improved. This has been one of the major pain points with AMD graphics cards. Obviously, I am a content creator, but even for the average person who just wants to record clips and not take up a ton of space on their system, AMD cards have really struggled with it compared to NVIDIA and even Intel. And Intel just started making graphics cards, and their encoders on their GPUs look better. It's actually not the problem that AMD's encoders on their graphics cards are slow. They can actually render out videos very quickly, but they just aren't that efficient. And I really hope that this is a good improvement. Other than that though, at AMD's presentation, they yapped a lot about AI. Most of it was business focused. I don't know if AMD missed the memo, but like, CES stands for Consumer Electronics Show, not Business Electronics Show. So like, this is for like consumers. I mean, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I just don't get their vibe. Would you get them? So with everything that's been announced, NVIDIA is obviously launching their RTX 40 Super graphics cards, and this looks like what 4000 series GPUs should have always been. Honestly, this whole situation is giving me flashbacks 2000 series. Original cards were so poor value, and then they launched super cards, and then they became decent. At least at the moment, like, these cards look like they're going to be competitive. It looks like it's going to shake up the market. Prices are going to have to change. And this might be a rare NVIDIA W. No, unless you want to pay $1,600 on a 4090, over $2,000 right now. On the other hand, I am a little bit nervous to see how AMD's 7600 XT graphics card with 16 gigabytes of VRAM at $330 is going to go on January 24th. I feel like I have to say January 24th because AMD didn't even want to promote it themselves. So this card just doesn't seem that competitive, and it's not going to make a dent. You might disagree with me though. You might really like the 7600 XT. It definitely has some kind of potential. Despite our disagreements that we might have about these topics, I hope you enjoyed the video. Expect more coverage from me for CES in general, as well as the super GPUs for NVIDIA and AMD's RX 7600 XT when it launches. All these things, I'm going to cover them. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video, and peace.